think.
Or you never know.
Yeah, I think they're gonna go in there and spar. I don't think it's gonna be you trying to kill me or I'm trying to kill you. You know, I think it's let's go in here and make this money. You know, it's more of a business tactic than anything.
100%.
And he went from Disney to, you know, getting paid. What I told you, world champions that have dedicated their whole life to this sport, they will never get paid. Not even a percentage of what he's making.
Yeah.
Or are you about it because it's promoting the sport of boxing?
Nah, it don't bother me because if I was in that position, I'd be happy. I always look at it like that. Like if I was in that position, I'd be happy making all these millions of dollars. You know, it don't count. It's just for show. I mean, it's a win-win.
Terence Crawford responded to Gervonta Davis facing Jake Paul by saying, "It's more of a business move than a real boxing match." He pointed out the huge weight gap. One fighter is around 135 pounds, while the other is close to 200. According to Crawford, that difference makes it more of an exhibition than a true contest. He believes both men will mostly spar for entertainment and money rather than fight seriously. Crawford admitted that Jake is big and strong, while Tank is explosive and skilled. But to him, that this matchup is about business, not boxing.
Jake too big for Tank, you know? In reality, he's way too big for Tank. Like, Tank is very talented, punch hard, explosive, the whole 9 yards, but...
Yeah, because some people say Jake's fight's rigged. He's like suing people now that say they're rigged. You see that? But how could they rig it before? Because like, what if they just say, oh, we're going to go soft on each other, and then Tank just fucking throws it right at Jake?
Jake can punch with that right hand. Like, I seen him, you know what I mean, up close in person. Like, dude is big. He's not as slow as people think he is, and he can punch. You know, that's why a lot of people know, like, there was times where, you know, him and Tyson, you know, was in the ring and he could have like laid it on Tyson, but he kind of like held back.
You could tell.
And that's the same with Tyson. Like, Tyson could have caught Jake with something and he just like, you know, so you can see it.
If you had to choose someone to win that fight, who do you think wins?
Honestly, I think Jake by youth.
Really?
Yeah.
Emiliano Vargas spoke openly about how modern boxing has changed because of personalities like Jake Paul. He said Jake figured out early that boxing today isn't only about talent or building a legacy, it's about grabbing attention. Now, social media buzz, fan excitement, and entertainment value decide who earns the biggest paychecks. Vargas said that's unfair to real champions who spent their lives perfecting their craft and facing the best fighters in the world, yet never made even a fraction of what Jake earns through fame and hype. He admitted Jake understood the formula: create drama, build hype, control attention, and the money follows. Vargas sounded both impressed and disappointed, saying Jake's success shows how the sport is shifting from pure competition to an entertainment business.
Right. Explain this to me, non-basketball terms, just such a funny internet comment, but explain this to me like a third grader. What is an exhibition fight?
I don't even know, bro. I'm gonna be real with you. All I know is that Jake is making, I don't, goddamn.
But when they say
look, God bless Jake, bro, because this is what he figured out. He figured out this. He figured out boxing is all about attention.
100%.
And he went from Disney to, you know, getting paid. What I told you, world champions that have dedicated their whole life to this sport, they will never get paid. Not even a percentage of what he's making.
Yeah.
But because attention brings dollars. It doesn't matter if it's a podcast, if it's a movie premiere, if it's boxing. If there's no attention on it, you're not going to make no money from it.
This is like the WNBA conversation. That's why they don't make the money, because they don't have the attention.
No, for sure. I was at the WNBA yesterday. That shit was lit, bro.
It was lit?
I was chopping it up with Floyd was there.
It was good?
Like, people, they won by like, I think 1 or 2 points. But I was standing up and I was jumping, you know, it's the finals though.
Yeah.
It's the finals. So, all that aside, I just feel like Gervonta could crack though, bro.
Oh, of
Gervonta
course.
could crack. I mean,
so this is what I want.
He's sparred light heavyweights and heavyweights before. Like, this ain't nothing new.
Even taller guys.
For sure.
Yeah, so what I really want to ask you in regards to that fight is, like, obviously someone like Gervonta is not in his mind, he's not going to go out there and look stupid, no matter how it goes.
Right. No, he's not.
But that's what when I see it's an
He's not.
exhibition fight, I'm like, what does that mean?
And you can still get knocked out. You know, I feel like that means there's not going to be no winner.
No effect on the record.
Yeah, that's exactly what it means. But you could get knocked out.
So you don't think, because like, you know, the beef now is like, this shit's the WWE. That's what people say about boxing.
I mean,
Showbiz. The adult explained that Gervonta Davis isn't taking Jake Paul lightly, even though this fight is labeled an exhibition. He said Tank has sparred with light heavyweights and heavyweights before, so facing a bigger opponent isn't new for him. According to Showbiz, Tank knows that no matter what, he can't afford to look foolish in front of the world. Even though exhibitions don't affect records and officially have no winner, you can still get knocked out, so it's serious. He added that Tank sees this fight as a global opportunity to prove his dominance. If he beats Jake convincingly, his reputation will grow far beyond boxing fans. That's why his coach has confirmed he's training as if it's a world title bout. For Tank, losing isn't an option because the internet never forgets. One bad performance against a YouTuber could damage his career image permanently. So while it's technically not a real fight, it still carries real consequences. Tank wants to show the difference between a lifelong professional and a self-made celebrity boxer.
You mean to tell me you start hitting Jake with some shit, he ain't gonna fight back? He said, fat. But he had you on a hit list before this fight even happened. So his mental is on you. So you have to take him serious.
What Tank Davis doesn't know he's risking is crazy. I hope he knows now. The fan base doesn't know what Tank's risking. Y'all just seeing it as WWE shit. That Jake Paul is an opportunist, and that Jake Paul is gonna try to knock him out. He's gonna try to knock him out, do this, cross his arms. He's gonna try to do that shit. If he hits Tank and Tank has Bambi legs, that goes viral. Jake Paul gave Tank Bambi legs. He'll get trolled so much, Tank may retire. Tank gotta knock that guy out, and y'all don't realize it. And regardless of the reality of it being an exhibition, that shit, the sight of that is gonna go viral. Tank gonna have to take him seriously and knock his ass out, bro.
Danny Garcia and other boxing analysts see this matchup more as entertainment than sport. They admit it's not a fair fight between equals. It's a business event designed to grab attention and generate money. Still, they point out that the curiosity surrounding it is powerful. Fans genuinely want to see what happens when a small but explosive fighter like Tank takes on a much larger, less skilled opponent like Jake Paul. That what-if factor keeps everyone interested. Some analysts even believe this could be one of Tank's final big fights before retirement. They think he might use this event to earn a massive paycheck and then leave the sport financially secure. While it won't define his career, it will certainly boost his brand, making it a smart business decision, even if it's not a significant sporting achievement.
I think Tank Davis, I have a feeling for all Tank Davis is going to retire after this fight. Sometimes when you get a big payday like that against a fight like Jake Paul, like you as a professional boxer, does that shit bother you? Or are you about it because it's promoting the sport of boxing?
Nah, it don't bother me because if I was in that position, I'd be happy. I always look at it like that. Like if I was in that position, I'd be happy making all these millions of dollars. You know, it don't count. It's just for show. I mean, it's a win-win. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the fight. It's the
Does Tank Davis get it done with Jake Paul? Jake Paul's a little bit bigger.
It's interesting, man. I don't think it's gonna be easy for none of them. I think it's gonna be interesting because Jake is a big dude and Jake is not a bum. Like
Right.
Jake knows how to fight a little bit.
Right.
And Tank is a lot smaller. I think it's gonna be entertaining for sure. I'm definitely gonna be tuned in because I just want to see like the outcome for sure.
Damn,
Right,
there
so-
you have it, Kamaru. See? It's
Yeah,
changing.
I've been saying that. I think, see, Danny, and you can attest to this. I see when Jake came into the sport of boxing, it's just, of course, we say, oh, it's just a goofy YouTuber or a content creator coming into the actual combat sports. He came in with such hype and so many eyeballs to where at first it didn't look the greatest. But he's really proved it. The more people have doubted him, the more people have hated on him, the more people have said these things about him, the more it's fueled his fire to where he stayed in the gym enough to where you see Jake now running off combinations and he actually kind of looked like a boxer.
Yeah, he definitely stepped it up. I mean, everybody in the beginning was like, man, I've been doing this my whole life. Like, we can't let somebody come in here and just make all this money. And everyone said that as a boxer, but as he kept doing it, like I kind of started to respect it, because I mean, how many people could really like turn one fan base into another? You know what I mean? Like, you could be a YouTuber and then you could try to be like a rapper and your fans don't go with you. Like, his fans really followed him to the boxing world. Like, you gotta respect, he got a loyal fan base, because it's like, if I try to drop a song, nobody gonna listen to it, you know what I mean?
Showbiz. The adult explained that both fighters are in a situation where failure isn't an option. For Jake Paul, this is the ultimate test to prove he belongs in real boxing. Until now, he's mostly fought older opponents or fellow celebrities. But Tank is an active young champion. If Jake takes him lightly and loses badly, it could destroy his credibility. On the other hand, Tank also faces pressure. Losing, even in an exhibition, to someone like Jake Paul would be humiliating and nearly impossible to recover from. That's why both men will treat this exhibition as seriously as a real fight. The pressure is different for each. Jake wants to prove he's a true boxer, and Tank wants to defend boxing's reputation. That shared pressure is what makes this matchup more intense than many official fights.
Tank Davis is in a situation where there's a good chance he'll have to retire, like he said after this fight. Let me tell you what I mean. With everyone saying that Jake Paul's fights are fake, Jake Paul brand cannot afford this fight to be a play-around fight that goes the distance. It just can't afford it. If it goes the distance and it's tit for tat and everybody it's like a sparring session, Jake Paul's brand is going to take an enormous hit. I don't think Jake Paul's brand can afford it. I think Jake Paul knows that, and he's going to go out there throwing haymakers, trying to knock out Tank. I'm telling y'all, and y'all keep playing around. Y'all keep telling Tank that it's fake. Y'all keep saying, whatever. And what's going to happen is Jake Paul, playing possum, is going to try to knock this guy out and go viral. Bro, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the size. It doesn't matter anything, bro, because it's going to go viral and everybody's going to roast the hell out of Tank. And I'm saying, Tank, you got to take this fight seriously. I don't know what was said to you, but don't listen to your fans. Your fans, the Tanky Wankies, been setting you up to lose forever. Brother, listen to the bigs. Don't listen to anyone else. Your only option is to take Jake seriously and knock him out. That is your only option. Because Jake Paul knows that's his only option. He's just not saying anything.
Leonard Ellerbe came forward to defend Gervonta Davis against criticism. He said that many people, including those in the boxing world, keep asking why Tank doesn't fight names like Shakur Stevenson or Vasyl Lomachenko, but they ignore how boxing really works. Ellerbe explained that Tank has his own career plan, and not every fight fans demand makes sense financially or contractually. He argued that critics often fail to understand the business side of boxing. Tank has already achieved huge success and built one of the sport's biggest fan bases. Instead of appreciating that, people just look for reasons to criticize. Ellerbe made it clear that Tank isn't avoiding challenges. He's choosing fights that make sense for his career, his safety, and his long-term goals.
Davis is 30-0 or whatever his record is. He's undefeated, but he's never fought anybody. He never does anything. He never tried to make a fight with Vasyl Lomachenko. He never wanted to fight Shakur Stevenson. He didn't fight Devin Haney. And they go and list a bunch of stuff that he did not do, right? But don't want to look at the facts related to whether or not he could even do the things that they're asking him to do. So Leonard Ellerbe used, for example, what was said about Vasyl Lomachenko and Gervonta Davis, and Gervonta ducking Vasyl Lomachenko when Vasyl Lomachenko was at 130 pounds. So there was video that was shared in the stream, the thread of tweets, tweets, I guess that's the right way to say it, in which Bob Arum is on tape saying, "What do I look like trying to make big fights for Gervonta Davis? My job is to make fights for my fighters. I have plenty of good fights that I can make for Vasily Lomachenko, for Shakur Stevenson, for Devin Haney, for these people in my promotional company that I can make good fights for. I don't need to go outside and make a fight outside of Top Rank. That is what that's what the owner president of Top Rank, Bob Arum, said about making a fight with Gervonta Davis and Vasily Lomachenko. Vasily Lomachenko was also on tape the same time saying, why would I fight Gervonta Davis? There's nothing in that for me. And do you know why that was the case? Because Gervonta Davis at the time was not a big name yet. He had not broken out.
Analysts say Gervonta Tank Davis isn't only motivated by money, he's driven by legacy and respect. Every time he steps into the ring, all eyes are on him. Every punch becomes a talking point, every quote a headline. Because of that, he can't afford to take any fight lightly, even exhibitions. Tank has built a reputation as a precise, disciplined, and dangerous fighter. Analysts believe that even against Jake Paul, he wants to show that professionalism still matters. He never wants people to think he took the easy route or fought for views. Unlike celebrity boxers who focus on attention and profits, Tank fights for pride, respect, and to remind the world why he's considered one of boxing's true champions.
If you're sitting on that toilet and that stool ain't brown or green, if it's red, go to the doctor.
Yeah, for sure.
But again, Tank Davis and Jake Paul, they fight in November. I personally have Tank. You know what I'm saying? I just don't, because Tank is a little different. He ain't like them other niggas who took a fall. Tank ain't finna take no fall, bro.
That's what I think too. I think like bro got a reputation to maintain. He ain't about to just, you know what I'm saying, sign a deal just for some money.
Just for some bread.
I ain't like, it's about the money though, for sure.
For sure.
But I'm not about to.
But what they get, like 20, he got like 20 million?
But yeah, 20, I ain't gonna lie, Tank probably get 20, 30, 40.
I don't know. Tank need to get more than that because it's bringing Jake Paul more money than, you know what I'm saying?
Anything, but you know, Jake Paul putting up the purse, he putting up everything.
Oh, okay.
He paying for promotions, he paying for everything.
So he getting all whatever he get.
You know what I'm saying? So hey, I can only, I think it's a 60-40 cut or something like that.
I ain't mad at that.
So it's like you getting 40% and you all gotta do is show up and fight.
No, facts.
That's all you gotta do is show up.
Facts.
And then 9 times out of 10, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be what, a draw?
No. Tank gonna knock his, well,
you think so?
Let me not speak too fast, but I know Tank, I pray and I think I know that Tank is gonna beat him up.
Nate Diaz shared his blunt opinion about the upcoming fight. He said Jake might have a chance to win, but it doesn't really matter because the whole thing is entertainment, not a real competition. In Diaz's view, both fighters are there to make money and put on a show for the fans. He refused to choose sides or make predictions, saying this event doesn't represent true combat sports. Diaz, known for his raw and authentic fighting style, sees this as more of a business deal than a genuine fight. His comments reflect what many professional fighters feel, that modern exhibitions have replaced real competition with drama, scripting, and financial motives.
I gotta ask you, Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. Does Davis have a chance?
Gervonta is a great boxer, but he ain't gonna be.
So you got Jake Paul by knockout, or?
No, I don't got anybody, but I don't think.
He's just too small.
It's just. I don't want to beat up somebody that small. I don't want to. You know what I'm saying?
What do you think of the fight?
I don't want to lose to somebody that. There's no point in the fight. It's a great fight, actually. I'm not hating on the fight, but I think. My thoughts on it is let's watch and see what happens.
Ryan Garcia said his boxing's turning into WWE.
Yeah,
with that type of matchup. What do you agree? Last thing, White House card, like he said, you want Conor McGregor?
Yeah, but the whole thing's at WWE. So
right.
Like, at least that's happening and getting something to talk about, something to watch. And I'm looking forward to that fight.
Many fans and commentators have laughed at the size difference between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis during their press conferences. Jake stands much taller than Tank, forcing Tank to look up during face-offs. The contrast is so obvious that some people question how a smaller man like Tank can even compete physically with someone Jake's size. This mismatch has led some to call the event a publicity stunt rather than a serious fight. Still, that visual, two men from completely different weight classes facing off, has drawn massive attention. It's part of what makes the fight feel both ridiculous and fascinating at the same time. For many, it's less about fairness and more about the spectacle.
You know, when this fight was announced, I thought it was just like, you know, fabricated, just like something to hype stuff up. But after seeing like the weigh-ins, I mean, just look at, he has to bend down to be, it's absolutely crazy. And I've said this before, this isn't gonna do either fighters any favors, right? Gervonta Davis, he wins. So what? You beat a YouTuber. You lose. You lost to a YouTuber. You know what I mean? They won't even care about the size. Jake Paul wins. He beats some small dude. You know what I mean? Jake Paul loses. Well, I don't even know. Like, it's all bad. You know, no one is winning in this fight regardless. And I just think that it's absolutely absurd. But hey, that's what boxing is nowadays. It's more so about the show, right? Instead of actually being competitive at this point. But at the same time, it kind of is competitive because obviously everyone knows that Gervonta Davis has better boxing skills than Jake Paul. We're going to see if that's going to matter when the guy has 60 pounds on you. So it's definitely something that I'll still watch.
Analysts revealed that the Jake Paul vs. Gervonta Davis fight has been quietly in the works for months. Both teams have been discussing it behind the scenes because they knew it would attract global attention. Everyone agrees that Jake's size gives him a clear advantage, but that doesn't mean he'll win. Tank's speed, skill, and experience against world-class opponents make him a dangerous opponent. He understands timing, rhythm, and footwork far better than Jake. Experts predict the fight will highlight the difference between a trained professional and a self-taught entertainer. Jake might rely on power and reach, but Tank's agility and precise counterpunches could make Jake look slow. In the end, they believe it will show the gap between real boxing intelligence and pure physical strength.
Yeah, you're seeing what I'm seeing. Tank Davis versus Jake Paul. I don't buy it for a second, but apparently they were in negotiations to have this fight happen if Tank Davis beat his previous opponent, which obviously ended in a draw. Which means he's obviously going to go and rematch Lamont Roach in his next fight. But come on, Tank Davis versus Jake Paul. Jake Paul is a cruiserweight / heavyweight. Tank Davis is a lightweight. This is Jake Paul's mindset. Okay, I'll fight a legit professional boxer, OAP. I'll fight a legitimate professional boxer who's his age, loses. Okay, I'll fight another professional boxer who's half his weight. Honestly, I don't care how big Jake Paul is, I genuinely do think that Tank Davis would beat Jake Paul. I think Tank Davis would be too fast, too slick, outbox him, move around. He wouldn't knock him out, obviously. I don't think he'd knock him out because of how big Jake Paul is, but he would outbox him 100%. But anyway guys, let me know what you guys think about this potential fight. I really hope it does not happen because Jake Paul needs to fight a legitimate pro who isn't a taxi driver, who isn't old, and isn't half his weight.
That wraps up today's video. Stay tuned for more updates. Until next time.